Hey everyone, my name is Amanda. I was born in Kenya, but have Burundian parents, and I grew up in New Zealand. And today we're going to talk about cultural identity, and I brought a friend with me to discuss that with me. So I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Nadine. My parents are also from Burundi, but I was born here, so born and bred.
What is your definition of cultural identity?
For me, cultural identity has to do with your heritage and where you're from, and also has to do with where you are physically in terms of location.
What are the challenges you faced growing up?
For me, it was definitely my parents being very overprotective. They, had their boundaries and had their ideas of what they wanted me to do or not do, and I think that just definitely interfered with a lot of aspects of my life. And I think for me that was definitely a hard thing to come to terms to, just realizing there were some things I could do and some things I couldn't.
How about in school? What was your challenges in school?
I think for me it was definitely my parents' expectations. I think it was hard. It was a lot. You want to live up to what your parents expect of you, but also school expectations as well. I think people definitely underestimated me, and I was also trying to surpass school expectations and live up to my parents' expectations as well.
Also the pressure as well for me, because my parents came here as refugees, so coming here at a young age, it was just always saying you gotta do better, we came here for a better life and for you to have a better education, but when I didn't do or live up to the expectations, it was just kind of I disappointed them and I felt kind of bad. But yeah. What was your friendships like growing up?
I think my friendships were pretty good. It was just the dynamics of them that were affected, I think, for me. It was just kind of the overprotectiveness. Sleepovers weren't allowed, you had to be home at a certain time. And I think trying to explain that to your friends is very, very hard, because they're like, oh, it's going to be fine. It's all good. But it's no, it's not going to be all good. It's if I'm going out, I need to know time, when I'm going to be back. I have to tell my parents all of this information. So it's it can't just be grab and go,
Yeah. Do you sometimes feel disconnected with your heritage or your culture?
I think for me, not really. In terms of my Burundian side, I know who I am. We have the Burundian community, and we have the Independence Day events. So I got to see drumming, cultural dances, cultural food. So I think in that sense, not really. And also my parents took me and my brother back home, so we've been there. I know what it looks like, and even though there is kind of a language barrier, I think for me I don't feel it as much, because my parents have really gone into depth about where we've come from in that sense. I think it's the New Zealand side that sometimes I have a hard time identifying with, because I don't really know where I fit in that sense, and it feels most of the time I do definitely choose my Burundian side.
So that's all we have for today. So thank you for joining me.